Good evening, everybody. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. A U-Haul truck has driven through a Iran rally in Los Angeles, and it is not clear. There are reports that people might be injured, but it is unclear what exactly the status of that is. But this was it was a demonstration in support of the Iranian people, and a U-Haul truck, I believe with some political signs on it, drove through the rally. It said no Shah. I mean, the truck says no Shah, no regime. USA do not repeat 1953. So here to give you an update on that. I don't know if there are, by the way, I'm going to change my graphic, by the way, because we don't know if it hit people. So sorry, I updated the, I got to update the thumbnail, because I think the thumbnail is still, there were reports of injuries, but I haven't seen that confirmed at this point. But a scary situation. I'm going to post a link in the chat. I don't have the rights to the video, but I'm going to post a link in the chat to a couple of the videos. You can see them on my X account. Hang on a moment here. Give me one moment here. I just posted another one too. So let me the thing I need to do real quick is I just need to fix the graphic, because I'm not sure if it has hit any people, but it definitely drove through the rally. U-Haul drives through Iran rally. That's what I want to say. Sorry. Okay. Thanks for your patience. I'm going to get you some updates right now. Nope, that's not the right one. There we go. Let me get the correct graphic up here. If you go to my X account, there are two videos I have seen of it that I posted on my X account. I'll actually videos of incident on Steve's X account, and then I'm going to post a link to the account right now. So you can see I've seen two videos so far of it. And oops. Right now. All right, let me try to get you some updates. Sorry, I had to kind of rush to get on the air. So this U-Haul had a sign on it that said, no Shah, no regime, USA don't repeat 1953, no mullah. So people were demonstrating. Oh, the driver was detained, by the way. The driver was detained. That's according to Abigail Velez of ABC7. I'll post a link to that shot as well. So people were demonstrating in support of the Iranian protesters in Iran. There's video floating around of a person being taken out of the truck. I'll post a link to that too. But, when it says, a prominent voice a prominent voice in these protests has been the son of the Shah of Iran. The Shah of Iran was the last leader before the Iranian Revolution. And his son, Reza Pahlavi, has been posting from I believe in Washington where he lives, but he's been posting from outside Iran encouraging the protesters. And some see him as a possible transition figure, although President Trump hasn't said that. So I do wonder, the truck said on the side of it, no Shah, no regime, U.S. don't repeat 1953. So it seems like maybe they're talking about not supporting the Shah as a replacement figure. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what the people driving the truck think. But let's see if we can get you some actual new reporting on this. NBC4 said it was a truck a U-Haul truck plowed into a group of protesters. It was in Westwood. This is in Los Angeles. They said hundreds of people were marching in this demonstration. It's unclear if there are any injuries. Unclear if there are any injuries. But this was a crowded demonstration, and you can see from the footage that this truck was going, like plowing through the demonstration, but I don't know if it hit anybody. I wonder, I don't see a scanner where people, I believe maybe LA police scanner isn't public. Well, there's LA County Fire Dispatch. It's not even LA City. I can try to look and see. So, hang on a moment here. Sorry, I'm checking a couple things here. I don't have access to that feed. Yeah, there's a helicopter feed floating around, which I don't have the rights to, which is showing the area of the demonstration. Reportedly, the person has been taken into custody. Now, the demonstration is just kind of, there's still people out there. Hang on. So ABC7 Los Angeles says that a U-Haul plowed into a crowd at an anti-Iranian regime rally. A large group of people was seen surrounding the U-Haul after, and some people were seen smashing windows of the U-Haul. Law enforcement pulled a man from the U-Haul and appeared to take him into custody. Some protesters were seen trying to punch him and hit him with flagpoles, says ABC7. Again, the side of the U-Haul said no Shah, no regime, USA don't repeat 1953, no mullah. It's unclear whether there are any injuries. It's unclear whether there are any injuries in this incident. If I can get the rights to the video, I've tried to buy the rights to the video, I will show it to you. Hang on one moment. Let's see. Again, I have posted multiple videos of the incident. I have reposted them on my X account, which is @Lookner. You can go there and see the videos. Oh, I have an update here from Reuters about this. Short update. Reuters says truck plows into Los Angeles rally to support Iran demonstrations. KNBC reports a truck plowed into a crowd gathered in Los Angeles to show support for Iranian protesters. KNBC reported hundreds of people marched in Westwood, a Los Angeles suburb. It was not clear if there were any injuries. I believe Westwood, where that is part of Los Angeles. CBS News reports at least 2 people were injured. At least 2 people were injured. 2 people were treated at the scene, but denied transport to the hospital. Okay, so I have an update on injuries here. I have an update on injuries. CBS News, 2 people were treated. Update on injuries in LA UHaul incident at Iran rally. CBS News says the LAFD says, CBS News reports, the LAFD says 2 people were treated at the scene but denied transport to the hospital. Firefighters said they were working to find a 3rd person who was injured, but the size of the crowd was delaying their response time. Okay? So 2 reported injured and possibly a 3rd. That's what I've heard so far. Now, fortunately, the 2 who were injured, they denied transport to the hospital. All right, so again, just to repeat, according to CBS News, the LAFD says, LA Fire Department says they treated 2 people for injuries. They said the people denied transport to the hospital, and they are looking for a 3rd person. But they're getting delayed with their response because of the size of the crowd there. To repeat, if you haven't seen it, I have posted 2 different videos of this incident, reposted it on my X account, where you see the truck driving through. So you can go to my X account, which should be pinned to the which should be pinned in the chat. Thanks to all of our mods, and you can see the videos. Jonah Barton writes in and says there is video floating around that the protest ripped the signs off the van and also broke glass off the van, so the protest is at fault. Well, I don't know that that happened, but if some protesters did do stuff from the van, I don't know that that justifies a U-Haul truck going at high speed through a crowded protest. But I don't know. I do not know. A fair point is I don't know all the surrounding. I'm just telling you what I know. I don't know how this all happened and who these people and who was driving the truck and what happened before and all the details. All right, hang on a moment here. Trying to get you a little more updates here. Here is a lot of rumors floating around about this. You can write to me at Lookner on X. Now, again, according to ABC News, they say that this happened sometime before 3:30 local time. The U-Haul from the video seemed to drive through the crowd during this planned protest. The side of the U-Haul says, "No Shah, no regime. USA don't repeat 1953. No mullah." The 1953 would presumably be a reference to the coup in 1953, where there was a coup that overthrew the democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh. You can see right here, Mohammad Mossadegh. His government was overthrown in the 1953 Iranian coup, aided by the intelligence agencies of the UK and the United States. So one of the things on the truck said, USA don't repeat 1953. Oh, I was checking to see. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hey, thanks to Matt Talmer. You know, I looked, I couldn't find anything. I was trying to find the LAFD update about this. Here it is. Thanks, Matt Talmer, for letting me know. Hang on, guys. Here it is. Reported auto versus pedestrian near a large crowd. 2 patients were evaluated and both declined LAFD treatment. Transport. Paramedics are currently responding to reports of a third person in the general area. Resources are delayed making patient contact. Resources are delayed making patient contact due to the size of the crowd. So that's the, thanks, Matt. I was looking on their page. I couldn't find this, so I appreciate Matt letting me know about that. There it is right now. Auto versus pedestrian. 1350 South Midvale Ave. That's in Los Angeles. It's in Westwood. It's not far from UCLA. Very often there are protests at Wilshire and Veteran. Also, I will say, I know on this part of Westwood Boulevard, there are a number of Persian restaurants. At least there used to be. So that might be an area where, that might be like a neighborhood where a lot of Persians live. But I don't know. It's been a number of years since I lived there. But I do know that there's lots of protests often at Veteran and Wilshire. Anyways, they say this is where it happened. But UCLA is right up here, right near the 405 freeway as well. But again, we don't know what led up to this. I don't know if this truck went there with the intention of driving through the protest or if something happened before. I have no idea. Again, 2 reported injured, maybe a third. Oh, hold on a second here. I want to update you real quick about one other thing. Really quick, if I can just interrupt for 1 second coverage of this story. It is reported that federal prosecutors have opened an inquiry into the chair of the Fed, Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve. The New York Times is reporting that. U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C. has opened a criminal investigation into Jerome Powell over the Federal Reserve's renovation of its headquarters and whether Mr. Powell lied to Congress about the scope of the project. And Jerome Powell has put out a statement. So let me just interrupt this broadcast about Iran for 1 second, or about the Iran UHaul incident for 1 second, just to show you this statement from Jerome Powell. It's a new statement from Jerome Powell. From the Federal Reserve account, I believe, talking about this.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of...
But you can't hear it. So let's make sure you can hear this. Oh, I think you can hear it. Let's try this again.
Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas. Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee. Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned, in part, a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
All right, let me just get you back. So I want to update you on that. Let me just get you back to this U-Haul truck story. So again, a U-Haul truck drove through a rally of people supporting the Iran protesters in Los Angeles. I have posted a couple of videos of the incident on my X account, which is linked in the chat. You can go to my X account and see them. And what I'm going to do is what is this here? Hold on, I'm confused. I want to see if I can find, one of the viewers mentioned that you might be able to find some LAPD scanner feeds. So I wanted to go back and see, I want to go back and check the LAPD scanner feed because I actually found it and see if I can find anything from right when this happened. So I have the scanner open. This is from Broadcastify. And I'm just going to kind of go to what the time was when this happened and see if I hear anything on the scanner feed. I don't know if I will.
Information on the battery suspect Westwood, Mississippi. Suspect last seen north on Westwood, walking on the west side of the street. Suspect is a male, white, tank, possession.
Can't even hear what that's saying.
8059 code 6. Units code 4 and code 6, Charles, 3927.
Gentlemen, citizen flag down 2784 Deep Canyon Drive.
Lighting up H, tank top, black.
97, you get 480 degrees, suspect 1100 Northwestern Avenue.
Unit possible for finding suspect there now, 6122 Santa Monica Boulevard, checking out information, suspects are 2 male, unknown if any weapons.
8035 vicinity, 8059 is closing back. Suspect for now, 1255 Alpha, last name
Code 44330 Burns Avenue.
I haven't heard anything yet.
With the U-Haul truck.
Oh, U-Haul truck. Listen. This is from earlier.
All units. With the U-Haul truck. I need help.
Hear that? This
all
is from
units,
earlier.
Officer East South Veteran, Ohio, Officer East South Veteran, Ohio, 415 group. Any area coming on West LA frequency.
This is a replay of the scan.
Air 3, we're overhead. Okay, 859, let me know what you got.
Correction. Air 3, correction, it's 8035.
8035, come up for Air 3, let me know what you got down there on Wilson's Veteran.
This is the scanner feed, a replay of the scanner feed.
Rampart units, 415 male with a gun, Melrose in Vermont, one Melrose walking towards Los Angeles City College, male white, wearing a hat, black.
See what else I can get.
On Veteran.
Here.
Down. On Veteran.
Maybe multiple RAs on Veteran in Ohio.
That U-Haul, north-south, there's a guy hanging off the side and there's a guy on top of the vehicle. It's a large U-Haul box truck. The unit code 6 at Veteran and Rochester. Just use caution, your black and white's right there. He's coming right towards you. And there's multiple protesters surrounding this vehicle. Looks like they might be trying to, yeah, let's make it a help call.
Hear that? Protesters were surrounding the vehicle afterwards.
9669.
answered out.
All units, officer needs help, veteran Rochester, officer needs help, veteran Rochester, any air unit come in on Westerly frequencies. Suspect.
Westbound Rochester from Westwood. So it's probably going to be the easiest way here. You got tons of heads on veteran, north and south of that location. And there's a group of maybe 200 people surrounding this U-Haul truck. We're going to need a skirmish line on Rochester, and we're going to move this crowd westbound into the park from veteran. So all units respond westbound on Rochester from Ohio.
All units responding to the help call, respond westbound Rochester from Ohio. 200 people surrounding the U-Haul.
651, repeat, you are covered.
I'll start slowing down and just get out of your shop, and we're going to need to start setting up a skirmish line. If we can get any officers to start putting a skirmish line wall to wall along Rochester and move that crowd westbound into the park.
Air 2's question, it's Chief over skirmish line westbound into the park from veteran, responding westbound. Suspect on top, from Ohio, so that vehicle's a U-Haul truck. Suspect on top, suspect hanging out of the vehicle. Respond Rochester from west, correction west.
So at that point, they were talking about one person on top and one person hanging out of the vehicle. Just give me 2 seconds here, guys. I know it's a little confusing, but we have been covering, again, a truck drove through a rally. Hold on. Hang on a moment here. I was trying to get the rights to one of the videos. So I'm doing a couple things at once. But a truck drove through a rally in Los Angeles, a U-Haul truck. And the sign on the truck said, I want to get you the exact, you can see it in the videos, but it said, hold on a moment here. I just want to pull it up here so I get you exactly right. It said, no Shah, no regime, USA don't repeat 1953, no mullah. Okay? And right now, the latest that the fire department has posted is they have said that reported auto versus pedestrian near a large crowd. 2 patients were evaluated and both declined LAFD treatment or transport. Fire paramedics are currently responding to reports of a 3rd person in the general area. Resources are delayed making patient contact due to the size of the crowd. So far, I have not heard of any serious injuries, fortunately. Oh, update. We got an update right here. The patient count remains at 2, both declining LAFD transport. I might have missed this before. Sorry, I didn't realize it was here. There were no other patients located. So there you go. That's from the LA Fire Department right here. Sorry if I missed that before. No, that just came out 17 minutes ago. That came out 17 minutes ago. That's the update from the LAFD. Update from LA Fire Department about U-Haul driving through rally incident. 2 injuries so far, both declined LAFT transport. to the hospital, to a hospital. No other patients located. Crowd is voluntarily dispersing. Okay. They also both declined treatment. Okay, so again, 2 people injured, both declined LAFD treatment and transport to a hospital, no other patients located. So that's promising information, that we haven't heard of any serious injuries at this point. By the way, a quick thank you to PH Survivor and Allie B from Tennessee, and I Am Charlie, and hold on, Denise Betts, D. Hayworth. D. Hayworth, I can't confirm that information. D. Hayworth thinks the driver of the U-Haul belongs to the MEK. That's what D. Hayworth thinks. I don't know. Just so you know, Wikipedia says the MEK is an Iranian leftist dissident organization. It is one of the main political actors among Iranian opposition groups opposing the Islamic Republic of Iran government as well as the Iranian monarchy. Thank you to Aaron Makita and Gary Baines, Rideshare Beware, Spanky, SNN, Flat for Life, Oliver Hernandez, Julie S78, Brandon R, Supernove, JX Shua. Thanks, JX Shua, for your support. And also John Deeds, Who Shot JR, Oxytropis, Rain25 on Twitch. Also, shout out to our moderators real quick. Big Ball of Yarn, Cerrero, Good Luck Duck, LB Prairie Don, Idaho Star, Matthew Kohai 3, Sarah, and Surly Dev. And also we have moderating Ruth and on YouTube, and Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha on X. And also, hang on a moment here, we have moderating Christina Neal. Oh, thanks, by the way, Evelyn Kumbalik, is it? For the stars, for the Facebook stars. Margaret Riley's moderating, Kay Larry Body, and Christina Neal. So again, if you haven't seen the videos, I haven't been able to get the rights to the videos. I tried to buy the rights to the videos. But if you haven't seen the videos, if you go to my X account, which is pinned in the chat, I have posted a couple videos of this truck going through this crowd at this rally. And when you see the video, it's quite scary looking, and you can't really tell if a lot of people were hit. But the LA Fire Department says 2 injuries right now, and both of them refused treatment and refused transport to the hospital. So that's encouraging information. But I don't know who the people were in the truck and how this all ended up happening. Let's see if I can get you any more information on this. The LA Times says police are investigating. Hold on a second here. Hang on a moment here. Hang on a moment here. Give me one moment. Yeah, the LA Times says police are investigating it. There's few details available. Yeah, there's not much specific more in that LA Times article. Give me one moment here. I'm trying to actually get a hold of the videos. I may be close to getting a hold of them. If I can figure it out, if I can figure this out now, I'll show them to you. So give me a second. I might be able to show some clips to you in a moment. Trying to get it figured out. By the way, I'm seeing some reporting about President Trump speaking about Iran in recent minutes. While I'm waiting to get you that, trying to get you the clips, let me try to get you that. Hold on a second here. Where was that? Where did that get broadcast? Oh, I got it right now. President Trump just spoke about Iran a few minutes ago on Air Force One. So let me just play you what President Trump had to say about Iran. I'm going to play it for you right now. Give me a moment here. Sorry, I'm hearing two of me. Why am I hearing two of myself? That's not good. Oh, I hear. I know why. Hold on. Let me cue it up here and get you. President Trump. All right, here is moments ago. I'm going to play you what President Trump said moments ago on Air Force One about Iran. Here is what he had to say just moments ago. Why is that all messed up? Hang on one second here. That's confusing. That doesn't make any sense. Try to fix this here. All right. Anyways, you can see it right here.
Grouping this is really nice. Look at this. It's going to be very rough in about 10 minutes, so we'll have to go a little bit quickly. They just said very, very rough.
Sir, on Iran, have they crossed your red line yet to trigger a response?
They're starting to.
Hold on. You know what? I figured out what I was doing wrong. Let me get it so I can play you. I'm going to bump up the volume here. Let me just pump up the volume so you can hear it better. But President Trump just spoke about Iran. Here is President Trump's remarks moments ago about Iran. Thanks for your patience. If it can get it to work. Let's see. It's not muted, so it should be playing. It should be playing.
She says, I'm with it.
There it is.
It's going to be very rough.
Sir, on Iran, have they crossed your red line yet to trigger a response?
No, they're starting to.
I'll repeat the question.
So we'll have to go a little bit quickly. They just said very, very rough.
Sir, on Iran, have they crossed your red line yet to trigger a response?
No, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination.
Which options have you been briefed on? Are you meeting with senior officials?
I'm going to tell you the end.
Are you meeting with your
Am I going to really, are you asking me to say what will they do, where will we attack, when, and at what angle will we attack from?
Are you considering?
Who are you with?
I'm with the U.S. White House TV pool. I'm wondering, are you being briefed on options? I'm with CNN, sir.
Why don't you just say I'm with CNN? She says I'm with the White House pool.
Yes.
And I say, what? You're with CNN. You're with
CNN,
you're
yes.
with fake news. Because CNN is fake news. Go ahead, give me a question.
Can I ask how you're balancing and how you're deciding your response, the balance between helping protesters versus hindering them? Because I imagine that's a delicate balance to strike.
I mean, some of the protesters were killed through the stampeding. I mean, you know, there's so many of them. And some were shot. We're getting a full report. I'm getting an hourly report. And we're going to make a determination.
Sir, the son of the disposed Shah and some military leaders are encouraging you to take action in Iran. Is that a serious option? And
people have been shot, and we're looking at it. Yeah, please.
Are you going to go to Venezuela, or is Secretary Rubio going to go to Venezuela anytime soon?
We're doing well. Venezuela is really working out well. We're working along really well with the leadership, and we'll see how it all works out.
Are you planning to meet with Delsey to go?
At some point I'll meet. Yeah, she's been very good. Look, she asked us, can we take 50 million barrels of oil? And I said, yes, we can. It's $4.2 billion. And it's on its way right now to the United States.
Guys, I got permission to show some videos of this incident. Okay, so so we heard President Trump talk about Iran moments ago. We can go back to that in a second. But I got video of the incident from, I believe this person, he posted several videos, and he posted them a while ago. He posted, around 3:40 was his first one. Yeah, so, okay. So this person's name is Shangul. Okay, so Sean Gould has given permission to show his videos. I said, can I pay you? He said, just use it, but I'll ask him later if I can pay him. Hold on a second. Here. So here's one of them. Here is one of the ones he posted from the scene, Sean Gould. It says, truck running over a crowd in Los Angeles, chase happening right now. Got to turn that down, though. It's loud. Again, 2 people were injured. I want to put that's obviously not live video, but earlier via at Shangulins on X. Oops, let me make this smaller. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make it do this. Okay, I want to show you that again. And if you see here, see what it says on the side of the truck? It says, no Shah, no regime, USA, don't repeat 1953. 1953 is when the U.S. helped overthrow the then leader of Iran, Mohammad Mossadegh, and it says no mullah. Now, by mullah, I think maybe they refer to the supreme leader. A mullah is a Muslim... it's a title for Muslim clergy and imams. All right. And no regime. Well, no regime. It seems like it's a sign against the maybe both against the current ruler's leadership, but also restoring the monarchy. Remember, the Shah was a monarch. No Shah, it says. Now let me show you. Shangul had some more videos. These are from Shangul. So here's another one. It says, the face of the driver running over the protesters. Now remember, Shangul was there at the time, but right now we have heard that there were 2 people injured and both of them refused treatment and they were not transported to the hospital. But Shangul at the time he posted this, this was posted an hour and 50 minutes ago. So I don't think, I have no information. I have nothing suggests to me that Shangul's tried to mislead anyone. He's just posting about what he saw. But I'm not aware that anybody actually got, fully run over, which is good. I haven't heard that reported. Anyways, via Shangulins, here is it says, is this a different or the same? I think it's a different video. Let's see. Wow. Now, is that before or after it drove? I don't know. Let's look and see if we can figure it out. I'm gonna message Shangul and just make sure. Give me a moment. People are saying before. I want to make sure. Oh, hold on a second. Is this video before it drove through? Okay, he says that was before. So Shangul, I just wrote to him. He said the video we just saw was before it drove through. Okay. Video from before the truck drove through the crowd. The poster of the video confirms it was before. Why is that not happening? Okay, hang on. Oh, hold on a moment. I'm trying to see if I can get Shangul. Well, if he wants to, I said you can come on the air and talk about it. I'm not going to pressure the guy. I said, if he wants to come on and he can call in and discuss it. He's watched the channel before, he said. Hang on. He posted a couple other videos. Just give me 1 sec, guys. Just give me 1 sec. But that's a good source. I mean, he was there. He took videos. I think there's two. I think I showed you the two. I think there's two videos and I showed you both. I'll show them again. So this is the before. This is the before it goes forward via Shangul. This is the before of what happened.
He shut up! 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 He shut up!
All right. So that was according to Shangul, that was the before. And then after what happened, after that, this is the video of the crowd going forward, of the truck going forward from that location, I guess, or near that location. Now, I don't know if the driver of the truck felt threatened after what happened before or what. I haven't interviewed, I haven't interviewed the driver, and I'm just showing you what we have here. Again, so I'm speaking, the person who took these videos, Shangul, he knows this channel. He has watched this channel before. I'm messaging him right now. He unfortunately can't talk right now, but I just asked him if there's anything else he wanted to pass along about the incident. Give me just a quick moment here, and I'll show you that again. But at least that lets us know a little more about what happened. Again, I don't claim to know everything about what happened, but all right. So I'm going to do that one more time. Show you the number one first video and then the second video. right, hold on a second here. Here is video number 1 of the truck. So again, this is at a rally of people who were supporting the Iranian protesters, and this was a rally in Westwood in Los Angeles. And this truck came up with a sign on it that said, among now I don't, what is, maybe I can translate this. I can't, what does that say? I don't know. I don't know if I can use AI to translate that part of the sign. See here. 2 hurt, but neither of them were hospitalized. What does the yellow sign say? I'm checking to see if I can figure out what the yellow sign said. Oh, Google AI says the yellow sign says no Shah, no leader, the people own the country. It's a common slogan used by Iranian opposition groups, says Google AI. It expresses a desire for a democratic system, rejecting both the former monarchy, the Shah, and the current religious leadership, the supreme leader theocracy. Okay, so according to Google AI, unconfirmed, that's what the yellow sign says, which certainly seems to be consistent with what the sign in English says, because the sign in English says, remember, no Shah, no regime. U.S. don't repeat 1953. And no mullah. Yeah, the 1953 coup, I believe, restored the Shah to power, the monarch, the Shah, who was then overthrown in the 79 revolution. So again, the message of these signs, I believe, is we don't want the current religious leader, but we don't also want the monarchy. That's my understanding. Give me 1 second here. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Sure, I think we're going to be able to talk to Shangul. I think we're going to be able to talk to the person who took the videos, guys. Hold on a second here. Roy says the poster says neither Shah, no leader, the people are the owners of the country. Okay, I'm going to try calling Shangul right now. All right. I hope this works. Shangul took these videos. All right, we're going to talk to Shangul. I hope this works out all right. Hang on a moment here. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Let's see if I can reach Shangul. I'm muting myself. Hey guys, I am now on with Shangul, who I thought Shangul was a man. That's probably because I made a dumb mistake with the name. But anyways, so this Shangul, hold on a second. Let me just make sure people can hear you. Shangul, hello, how are you doing?
Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm doing well given the circumstances.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, Shangul, is now can people in the chat hear Shangul? Yeah, they can hear you. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to put your video on the screen just so people know who we're talking to. And let me change the headline here. Sorry for the delay, Shangul, but I just want people at home to know who you are and who we're talking to here.
Sure.
All right, so I'm putting on the screen right now. Hold on, I'm going to type it in. All right, chat, I'm putting this on the screen live via phone. Shangul, who took videos of incident, and I'm just going to get this on the screen. Okay. All right, that's on the screen now. Okay, so Shangul, can you please tell our viewers just what happened? I know you might not know everything that happened, but were you at the rally, or just what was going on? Because we're just going off your videos and we don't have much information.
Yes, so just something to start with. All Iranians right now are coming together, regardless of their opinions and ideas. They just want to have one leader, one voice, because what's happening in Iran, the atrocities with the internet shutdown, if we don't come together as a nation, even whether we are in the diaspora or we are living in Iran, we need one voice and one leader. And when there are individuals that want to kind of discredit the different groups or make it so that people, the groups are breaking down and people cannot collaborate together, then they are going through with their agenda, which is keeping Islamic Republic in power. And this is what this individual was trying to do. Right now, Iranians know Reza Shah as their leader for these protests, and they are screaming for him to come back to Iran, and Iranians outside Iran also saying the same thing. But unfortunately, these groups are they are called KEM groups, and they've always been like that. They've always been anti-Iranian, just because they want to further their own agenda, which is anti-Iranian and pro KEM, which is a really kind of, it's like a cult basically. So what this individual did when we were protesting, we were in the rally, everybody was just moving forward. And this individual with his truck came inside the crowd. He was trying to move through the crowd against the direction that everybody was going. So he was coming in through the crowd. It was such a traumatizing, and I'm still talking about it and remembering the scenes. It was so scary for us, and everybody was screaming. I was worried about people because people were in the rally coming in the opposite direction of the truck. So it was just such a scary moment for everybody. I'm thankful that he was arrested not long after that, thankfully. And as far as I know, no one was really hurt. But the trauma of it, like there were little kids as well in the rally, and I was waiting on the side after everything that happened in the aftermath. And there was a little kid asking his dad, so what happened? People were walking, why the truck was coming into us. And it was just such a heartbreaking moment. A little child shouldn't go through something like that. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling.
That's okay. That's okay.
Messy event, but yeah, I hope that I answered your question.
Yes. Yeah. No, look, I understand it's a very traumatic incident, and I really appreciate you talking to us so soon after that. So let me just kind of clarify what was going on. So there was a rally out there in Westwood, and as I understand it, it was a rally of people in support of the protesters in Iran who are protesting now, right? Okay. Yes. And then what you said is that this truck came in, and you believe that this truck was trying to basically divide the people who are in support of the protests, and they were, I mean, I think you said they're involved with KEM. Now I can't confirm that, but say a little more. So you think that basically this truck was there to be divisive and split the protesters up. So I mean, we can see the sign in your video which says no
Shah, yes.
No regime, USA don't repeat 1953, no mullah. So can you just say a little more about, you guys are out there and you see this truck come up. So why do you think that this truck was there to disrupt things and everything?
Well, my perception, or from whatever I gathered from all the protesters being present in the rally, they were saying the same thing, that, while I cannot definitely say that he was part of the MEK group, but historically, these groups they just want to be divisive, and when people are divided, they cannot actually do something that is tangible for people of Iran, right? So for many years, even people in diaspora that are against Shah and they were against monarchy and everything like that, they are now coming together because they know that that our power is in our numbers, and if we come together, we can actually get rid of this Islamic terrorist regime that is killing people by the thousands in the street. Like in the first day, the reports from Iran are coming out that the first night of protest, they killed around 2,000 people, and they are saying that the number is way higher than that. So if we be divided, that helps them just keep the people that they want in power. And we don't want that. Right now, we have one goal, and that is to get rid of Islamic Republic in Iran. And they've been the cause of many atrocities all over the world. So we just want to get rid of them. And people want, at the moment, even if people are anti-monarchy right now, they are saying that their leader is Reza Pahlavi, because we just need one person to go through this stage. And even he himself is saying that we are just going to have a democracy. We are just going to have a referendum, and Iranian people, right after we topple this terrorist regime, we can decide what's the fate of this country would look like.
Okay, so if I'm getting this straight, like the people at the rally generally support Reza Pahlavi, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
At the rally, everybody was calling for his return to Iran.
And he is the son of the former Shah of Iran, and
exactly.
He has been posting, I know, as we've been covering, he's been posting calls for people to go out and protest, and I have read that a lot of protesters are saying his name and supporting him in Iran, although there's questions about, maybe some of them support him more than others. And what you're saying is, look, we're out here, we just want the protest to succeed, and we're all out here supporting Reza Pahlavi, and then this truck comes up, and it's being divisive because the truck is saying, part of what it's saying is no Shah, right?
Yes, it's going against everything that people were screaming, especially right now. We don't need to be divisive and have different messages, because people who don't know these nuances, who haven't lived through the regime, or do not have enough information through like the history of Iran and what happened. So if we are giving them different messages all the time, it's confusing. They don't know whether to support the protest, whether to support Iranian, whether to support Iranian government. So it's very confusing for the outsiders. We just need one voice. And this truck, its purpose only was to break that. He wanted to divide, and I could say that somehow they succeeded for momentarily, but right after the protest, the rally continued on, because everybody was saying that that's exactly what they wanted to do. So we kept on going for a little bit longer, and then after the protest was over, but yeah, that's what was happening.
Okay, and now can I ask you, because I'm gonna put on the screen right now the first video. So before the truck moved through the crowd, and again, for people watching, the LA Fire Department says there were 2 injuries, but both people injured rejected. They did not accept. They refused. They refused medical treatment from the LAFD. They were not hospitalized. So it sounds like those 2 injuries were not serious. Thank goodness. But I want to just show the viewers again the first video. So hang on 1 second, Shangul, while I put the first video on. So this is the video that happened. So people watching, I'm going to right now just replay you guys, people watching. This is the first video that Shangul took. And the first video shows what happens before. The first video shows what happens before the truck then made its way through the crowd. So hang on tight, Shangul, and I'm just going to play this for the viewers. We were just muted, so let me repeat the question. Hey, sorry, I had muted myself. So Shangul, let me just repeat. I'm going to repeat what I asked Shangul. So I just asked Shangul, and we'll hear what she had to say. Sorry, I was muted for a second. So I said to Shangul, I said, so a couple questions about this video. We see in the video there is a truck, which, as according to Shangul, you know, the signs on it were things that were the protesters were not going to like, and it seemed to be antagonizing the protesters. However, we also see in the video some people appearing to bang on the truck and maybe tear at the signs, and at the end break the windshield. And I said, I want to know from Shangul, so basically what's going on here, and also is it possible that the driver maybe felt threatened and felt like we need to get out of here because we're going to get attacked? That's not to justify what they did. So Shangul, yes. Now I have unmuted us so the viewers can hear you. So what is your response?
Yes. Well, I think people, I don't want to justify what the crowd did before the truck kind of went through the crowd. But the thing is, it was being antagonistic about the crowd, you know, and it was moving against the direction of the people. So people were going the opposite direction, and the truck was actually planning to go through. And as you can see, it was in the middle of the crowd. Like it was making its way to the crowd. I don't know what the purpose of that individual was at the moment, but it just didn't feel right for the crowd as well, and everybody was scared. But more than that, they were also very angry at the moment, because you have to also consider that their lines of communication with their families for the past 4 days have been cut off. They don't know who's alive, who's not, who's in hospitals, who's disappeared. You know, it's such a terrible situation at the moment. And when somebody, knowing that, comes to the crowd and taunts them, I don't know what they are expecting to get in return. I'm not condoning what the crowd did before it went through the crowd, but also he knew what he was doing.
Okay, so and again, I just want to repeat. So again, I appreciate your perspective. You're saying you don't personally condone what the crowd did, but at the same time, you're just also want to, as you said before, you felt that the crowd itself felt very antagonized by this truck coming through. And, and also, yes. I think you might have said something like the people in the crowd didn't know what the truck was doing there and didn't know what its intentions were.
Well, what I felt was a little bit scared, and talking to some of the people right after the truck went through, they were saying that why was it coming into the crowd? Because people were moving against the direction of the truck that they came in. So like he was trying to actually go through the crowd, but it was blocked, and there was a police car right over there blocking the street somehow, but it wasn't fully blocked, and the truck was actually trying to from the little space that was available to the crowd to actually go around the police car and continue with the rally. He was trying to go in from that little opening. So put yourself, I don't know, in the shoes of the people that are there. Like, they are trying to move in another direction, and the truck is moving towards them. So it's for sure scary. Okay. I don't know if
I understand I understand what you're saying. From what you're saying is some people in the crowd, that truck was driving towards the rally. They didn't know why it was there. It was a bit scary because it seemed to be going towards the crowd in a place where it shouldn't be. At the same time, you say you're not condoning what the crowd did to the truck, which I understand. And again, we haven't. I haven't talked to the truck driver and everything, but I certainly see, the tenseness of this situation. A number of our viewers wanted to ask about the sign. So, I mean, I can read can you read the whole sign and not just the part in English? Can you tell us more about what the signs on the truck said?
Just a moment. I'm just going to put you a brief moment on speaker so I can go through the video and see it because I'm on the phone.
Okay.
Just a moment, please. So I want to see a view of the truck and see what it's saying. I know one of them was saying, no Shah. Let's see. I'm just trying to go over them.
That's fine. Take your time. So again, I'm sorry. Continue. Continue.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. It sounds good.
So the yellow sign, it says no king, no leader. People are owners of the country.
Okay.
So this is kind of has like a communistic undertones in it, which is kind of in line with the KEM group that I was saying. And based on these people, we're kind of coming to that conclusion. I cannot confirm it 100%, but the messaging says that. And then the rest of it are in English. And the other one is... there's another one from Bushehr to Kermanshah. Zagros is ours. So Bushehr is a southern city in Iran, and Kermanshah is also another city in Iran, in the western part of the Iran. And Zagros is, this is the yellow sign on the left of the truck towards the end of it.
Okay.
So it says that Zagros is for the people. So Zagros is also a mountain in Iran. So they are saying that people own everything. Basically, it's just like one of those, slogans that they are using. So kind of, like I said, a little bit of like communistic tone, which people are so fed up with. They don't want to hear it. They've been living under communistic regime, and they're just done with it.
Okay, so I appreciate you clarifying the sign language. And I want to, if I can, by the way, again, I can't thank you enough for coming on and giving your perspective about what happened here. Can I just ask you, I'm interested, you had mentioned a bit how people are very tense and upset because they can't contact their relatives and stuff. So are you, I don't even know, are you from Iran, or can I just ask?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, I'm from Iran, and I haven't been able to talk to my parents or my family back home for more than 3 days now. And my cousin is also in another country. I'm not gonna say where, but she was also reaching out to me and asking, like, have you heard from anyone? Also, I have a lot of friends in diaspora that I've been talking to, and nobody has heard anything from Iran. And this is such a scary situation because we are hearing the death toll piling up and going up and up. So people don't know where their loved ones are or if they are okay. And it's just so scary.
Okay.
That's why they want to just topple the regime so that this kind of things don't happen again.
Yes, thank you for that. And again, my thoughts are with you and everybody else going through the situation that you are going through. And if I can just kind of get away from the truck incident for a second, I just wanted to, if you're willing to talk about it, I'd be very interested in knowing. So you, as somebody who are from Iran, can I? You don't have to answer this if you don't want. I was going to ask, were you born there, or do you have like family there, or what is your connection exactly?
Yes, I was born and raised there. I lived there until I was 21.
Wow.
I moved out. So I've lived through that regime. I've lived all the scary parts. I was there when the Green Movement was happening. I was a university student there, and I was participating in the protests because of what happened during that election. They basically stole our votes, and basically the leader of Iran installed a president himself instead of, like, they are pretending to be a democracy, but they are not. And people were afraid of that president, Ahmadinejad, that finally the leader of Iran kind of installed him. So they were so scared of him actually being the president that everybody went and voted. They don't want to give the regime any legitimacy. The only reason that they did because they were so scared of Ahmadinejad and his policies. So I myself, I had never voted before. That I was a first-time voter at that time. I went and voted, and unfortunately, our votes were stolen, and people took it to the street to kind of fight for their rights. And again, they started killing people. So I've kind of lived through that. And every time that people try and are unsuccessful, they become more brutal and their tactics become more intense. And now they are also, aside from shutting down the internet or their phone lines, they cannot even text each other within the country. Like the news that we are hearing is crazy from back in Iran. And they are also shutting the electricity during the nights. So protesters, it's harder for them to go to the streets. And kind of, I don't know if you've seen the videos of it, that people with their flashlights and a mobile phone in the street in the dark, light overcomes darkness at the end. I just hope for my people to be successful this time.
Okay, thank you so much for that perspective and your background. And I know a lot of the viewers, and myself included, I've been covering this on this channel for a number of days now, and so many people out there and so many people in the US and around the world want to know what's going on there, and it's so hard to know because the internet is shut down and everything. And so, I'm sure a lot of viewers would like to know, and I would like to know, you know people there and you've been there. What can you tell what's going on there? I mean, you're way more connected than me and most people. Can you even really tell what's going on? And what do you and the people who are from Iran, what can you tell about what it's like there right now and what is really going on there?
What I know, because we have no way of knowing what's happening in Iran through our connections. Mm-hmm. So we have to rely on the regime's TV and what they are feeding us. And what we are seeing is that actually there are so many people coming to the streets, and they are being in some parts of cities, big cities, they are being successful on taking down some of the buildings of, the regime, as the buildings that are associated with the regime and the things that they are doing within the country. But we cannot know for sure. But whenever it happens, based on the experience, they are just slaughtering people. They are killing people in huge numbers. They are using military-grade weaponry to against their own people. Like, can you even imagine a government do that to their own people?
And even you, though, so you who are from there and you spent decades there, and you have you know people still there, and you know other people who are from there, even you can't really get a good idea of what's going on, and you have, like you said, you can't talk to people there because of the communication shutdown. No. And you're saying that like you have to rely on watching like the state TV broadcast.
Yes.
And
yes,
so
yes.
that's very interesting to hear, because it just shows how difficult it is for information to get out of there if even you can't have a good idea of what's going on. And again, I feel for anyone in your situation, and you and anyone from there who has relatives over there, or loved ones, or concerned people they're close to, because you just can't tell what's going on. Do you have any thoughts about what's going to happen in the coming days, or do you just not know?
We are hearing, I don't know, I cannot confirm the legitimacy of, like, there are some audio or voice memos that are coming out from inside of the country. Like, the doctors are begging for Doctors Without Borders to come to their help, because they are outnumbered by the victims in the hospitals and things going on. But in the coming days, I think that if there are no lines of communication, I think the protests, the rallies everywhere is gonna just die down. And again, it's gonna be the same thing that happened 2 years ago with mass protests that was happening, like Women Life Freedom protests that was happening before, and they are gonna just mass execute people. They're just gonna, without any judiciary process in place, they're just gonna mass execute people. So it is very important this time people are successful, because they are gonna be even more brutal this time. And every year they are getting more and more intense.
Okay, and of course that's a very concerning thing and an upsetting thing to think about. But as you said, that has had happened in the past. And so, what? Given that given that outlook, what people, you and the people you know from there, what do you want? Yes. President Trump has suggested that he might take some sort of military action. What do you and the people you are in contact with think about that? Is there something you would like the U.S. to do? Do you think that would help? Do you think it would not help? What is your thoughts on that?
Yes. We want the President Trump. We know that he's been very proactive in bringing peace to many countries, and we are so grateful for that. I think the biggest obstacle right now is Islamic Republic, because it's the supporter of the biggest terrorist groups out there. And Iranian people know that, and they want to get rid of that. If they get rid of Islamic Republic, you are going to have peace in Middle East, and all the terror groups are going to dissipate. And what we want from the president is to at least meet with Reza Pahlavi, our leader, to discuss next steps. And we people in Iran are chanting or calling for President Trump to do something. Actually, I don't know if you saw the videos of people renaming the street names after President Trump, because they just want his help. They are so desperate. They want someone with power to come and actually get rid of the leaders, like what he did with Venezuela. Okay,
so you're saying, but I mean, so just to clarify, would people want, like, the U.S., just throwing this out there, do people there want President Trump to launch some sort of operation where Americans go in there, special forces, and capture the supreme leader? Or would that even help anything? I'm just throwing this out to, just to put something out there. Is that the kind of thing people are thinking of?
I cannot speak for like 80 million people, but
sure, fair enough.
But I think the best course of action right now is to talk with the leader of Iranian people, who is Reza Pahlavi at the moment, and to discuss the next steps. But yes, like from talking to our friend groups, they're saying that we wish that they do something or they're gonna slaughter the people. If President Trump has the power to just go get the supreme leader like what he did with Maduro, people of Iran would be forever grateful.
Okay, and I get like you're not a strategist and you're not a military planner.
Exactly.
So your thought is like it's not that you have a specific thing in mind. So although you do say that you would, I understand your point, which is that President Trump so far has not met with Reza Pahlavi, who is the son of the Shah of Iran, and he is based in the U.S. And he has been someone who's been a person that a lot of the protesters have been saying they support. But you think that he should meet with them, and I understand you would like if President Trump would meet with Reza Shah and put support behind him, Reza Pahlavi, I'm sorry. But also you're saying, look, just if I heard you right, if this keeps going the way it's going, you believe that it's just what's going to happen is more violence, mass killing and hurting of the protesters, and the protest just dies down after the violence like it has in the past. And you say that you and others from there just want the U.S. to do something to prevent that same thing from happening again. Is that an accurate summary of your outlook at this point?
Yes, just like I said, I'm not a political commentator or anything like that. What I'm saying is just what I hear from my friends and, people on social media, and what I've been hearing, that yes, people are just wanting for leaders such as Reza Pahlavi and President Trump to meet with each other to discuss next steps. And yes, people of Iran even are thinking that because there is no due process with the Islamic regime, they are just going to mass execute, mass murder, open gunfires in the street to people. They don't care. They are even, if you can believe it, they are even stealing the corpses of people who were in the protests or in the rallies inside Iran. So it's really important that this time somebody do something about it, because it's just going to get worse and worse. And they are going to learn from their mistakes, and they're just going to become more brutal than before. And I don't want to turn into, or Iran to turn into North Korea,
And okay, so thank you for answering those questions. I really appreciate that. And a viewer had a question about Starlink. And so do you know, I mean, there's been talk that some people have, even though the internet's been shut down, some people have Starlink receivers, and they're getting the internet out that way. I don't know if you've heard anything about this. There's discussion. Yes. I've seen these reports that maybe the Trump administration would consider sending more Starlink receivers in. And I've seen some people online say, well, maybe they can turn on Starlink to the people's phones so they don't even need a receiver. I'm not an expert on this stuff. What have you heard about all the Starlink stuff?
Yes, even in the past, when there were protests happening, the people were using Starlinks, and it was very successful in the past. But right now, they've learned how to kind of get rid of those. So people, they now learned how to fight against it, and the internet is fully shut down. Even people with Starlink receivers, for the most part, they were not able to communicate with the outside world. Which is crazy to say in 2026.
Wow. So you're saying that your understanding, and I've seen some reports about this, your understanding is that the government in Iran is blocking Starlink, or at least blocking it to a significant degree.
Exactly. Yes, that's what we hear.
Okay. So you've been so great about talking, so I'm not going to keep you much longer. I know you've been through a traumatic day. Can I just ask, is there anything else, that you want to say? Like if somebody is watching this, say somebody is watching this and they say, I support the Iran protests. I don't want to say everybody watching it. I don't know what the beliefs are of everybody watching this is, but I know there are a number of people watching it who support the protests in Iran. Is there anything that people, like say there's Americans watching this, is there anything they can do to help at this point? Or what would you say to somebody like that who's say there's an American who doesn't know people there and they're not from there and they're watching this and they really support the protesters? Do you have any kind of message for those kind of people?
Yes, thank you so much, Steve, for the great question. Yes, my only ask is that just support Iranian people, and if you can, just tag President Trump in pleas of Iranian people. They are asking for his intervention. I know that he has his own way of doing things, and there are some restrictions or regulations that he might not wanna intervene or something, but Iranian people are for it. Iranian people want the United States of America to help them and just get rid of Islamic Republic through military intervention. They are all for it based on what I am hearing. Again, this is my circle and what I'm seeing on social media. I'm seeing all the Persian community pages, and everybody right now wants the same thing. Maybe in the previous years, they were saying that, no, we don't want it, or we are anti-Shah, we are anti-king, we don't want monarchy. At this moment, I can say the majority of Iranian people have one goal, and that is to get rid of this terrorist regime that has been brutalizing not only Iranian people, but it's funding terrorist groups in many different countries across the world. So we just want to get rid of this regime that has been bringing so much misery all around the world. Thank you so much for the time that you've given me, Steve, and for everything that you're doing.
Shangula, I can't thank you enough for coming on, and first of all for letting us know you posted the videos from about that you recorded. So thank you for recording them and posting them and talking about your experience. At least we get some more perspective about what happened. And again, it feels like inadequate to say it, but I feel so terrible for people who, again, like yourself, are from Iran or have connections in Iran or family in Iran, and you can't communicate with them. And I can't imagine what that must be like for people. Also, obviously, people in Iran who can't communicate with each other. But to be going through this and not being able to talk to them. So I hope everybody you know there is okay, and I hope you can be able to talk to them soon. And I really appreciate you coming on and not just talking about the truck incident, but also just sharing your perspective on everything. And my last question for you is if so people know your social media because it's up on the screen. Are there any places if people are looking for, I get these questions all the time, and I understand it. People are like, where can we get information about this? Now, it sounds like there's really not much information to be had, but are there any any places you think that viewers should look if they're trying to get information about what's going on there? It's really tough. It might be none. The answer might be none. So
yes, I think that the main source of information would be Reza Pahlavi's pages.
Okay.
He's a good resource because he's our leader. So if you want, and also he's also been resharing all of the information that he's getting from Iran, but also he's signaling Iranian people what to do if they can hear his voice from within the country. So I would say that there are many big Persian community pages that also they can follow. But at the moment, I think our leader would be just Reza Pahlavi. Go follow him if you want to have the latest on what's happening. And thank you so much again for the opportunity and for your kind words. Actually, having people like you cover this and actually care warms my heart, and I'm sure it's a biggest support and encouragement for people of Iran that are following you and follow everything that you do.
Well, thank you again, Shangul. Thank you so much. Not just on behalf of myself, but I know for the viewers to be able to hear you talk. It's so helpful to be able to talk to someone who, you live there for over 20 years and you have connections there, and you can give your perspective. And again, my very best to you and the whole community in the coming days. And again, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and give your perspective on things.
Thank you so much,
Right.
Steve.
Take care, Shangul. You too. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Okay, so that was Shangul. That was really nice of her to call in and again talk about what she saw, what happened at this incident with the truck, and also as someone who, she said she grew up in Iran. She was there. She was 21. She had taken part in protests there. And some insight on to what she's going through and what her and the diaspora community is thinking right now. And look, you don't have to agree with her perspective. I'm not. That's no one's telling you have to agree with her. And if down the road somebody, I can get a contact with somebody with a different perspective, I'm happy to share it with you. But I really appreciate her. The point of having her on the air is not to force you to agree with her. The point of having her on the air is to get the perspective of someone who is in a position to share with us information that we might not normally have. And so I do really, really appreciate her calling in. And look, I mean, I can't imagine what it's like for people who are there or are from there and they can't talk to anybody. People can't talk to their relatives. They can't communicate. No internet, no phones. So it's a difficult situation. I found it very interesting. A couple things that she said that I found especially interesting is that she said her and the people in her community, people in the diaspora, people from Iran but not there anymore, they can't even figure out what's happening. She can't communicate with people she knows there. She literally said, like, we have to watch state TV, which is obviously going to be one-sided, to try to figure out what's going on. So that just shows you the degree of difficulty in getting information out of Iran and figure out exactly what's going on there. She also said it was her belief that if nothing really changed significantly, that the regime will increase violence against protesters. And she believes that, as in the past, regime will have a very violent response increasingly, and that the protests will just die down because of that violence, as they have in the past. And another thing that she said is, she said that her and the Iranians in her community really want the U.S. to do something to prevent this situation. She's basically said, if I remember right, if nothing is done, if no help is given, it's going to be the same as before, where the state treats the protesters with extreme violence and stifles the protests. And she thinks the majority of people now there in Iran want to be done with the regime. And she is just saying she really hopes that the U.S. can do something. She was not, she talked about a couple possibilities, but, she said she's not a strategist. As I took it, she just wanted some sort of, she would like President Trump to meet with Reza Pahlavi, but also military intervention she thought could help. But she just wants the U.S. to do something to prevent this going the way that protests have gone in the past, with a violent crackdown and stifling the protests. So, it's very hard to hear people in that situation where they can't communicate with anyone there. She grew up there. She can't communicate with anybody there. And for the people there, a lot of them can't communicate with each other. So it's a very difficult situation. But it was very, very nice of her to call in and share her perspective on a traumatic day. And look, I do want to point out, getting back to the truck incident, what happened is there was a protester rally going on in Los Angeles, where people had gathered to support the Iranian protesters. And from what Shangul said, it was people who supported also Reza Pahlavi, who is a leading opposition figure, and he is the son of the former Shah. And this truck approached the rally with signs on it that were from what I understand, they did not support Reza Shah, but from what she said, the signs on the truck were, antagonistic towards the people at the rally. And also she said the truck, some people at the rally were very concerned about the truck because they were like, why is this truck here? Why is it driving towards the rally? Then a crowd of people started, we saw, hitting the truck. Somebody broke the window of the truck. And she did say repeatedly, Shangul, she said, I'm not condoning what the crowd did. And she did acknowledge that this was a difficult situation with the crowd attacking the truck. I want to get that out there, that she did not say she condoned what the crowd did. And then after the truck got attacked by some crowd members, it then drove forward. So now, fortunately, we know that from the LAF Fire Department, 2 people were injured. It doesn't appear either of them were seriously injured because they both refused treatment from the fire department and they refused to go to the hospital. But I'm just going to one more time show you those 2 videos in case you haven't seen them from Shangul. And the first video is right here. And this shows the before the truck actually went through the rally. And you can see the crowd. Some crowd members are attacking the truck. Somebody breaks the window. So this is before it drove through, just to show you this one more time here. Okay, so there was that, and then the second video shows the truck after that happened, driving through the crowd. Sorry, give me a second. I'll put that on the screen right here. So this is shortly after that just happened. This is the truck going forward. Now, by the way, one of our viewers said they were saying shame in Farsi. That's what Zepperenfer says. He said they were saying shame in Farsi. Is that true? I forgot to ask Shangul about that. Anyways, hold on a second here. Yeah, so, I mean, the fortunate thing about this incident is that, as far as we know, no serious injuries yet. Again, I wasn't there. Certainly, I would understand if the people in the truck felt threatened because somebody smashed their window and people were banging on the truck. At the same time, I also understand the perspective of people at the rally who apparently felt, a number of people at the rally felt that the truck was not just antagonizing them, but also possibly threatening them. So, again, I wasn't at the rally. You can go back and listen to the interview with Shangul. So I'm not telling you what to think, but this was certainly a very tense situation and dangerous situation. Okay, but again, I really do appreciate Shangul for reaching out and allowing us to ask her some questions. And I do want to quickly play you guys again. We played it before, but we only got to kind of quickly hear it. What President Trump said today about Iran, he did an interview. He was answering some questions on Air Force One. And I just wanted to replay that. If you give me a second here. Hang on one moment here. And again, I very much appreciate our moderators who have been here for the stream. We have Ruth has been in there. Thank you so much, Ruth. And also over on Facebook, Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley, and Christina Neal, Linda Belk, Larry, Misha over on X, and also Big Ball of Yarn, Good Luck Duck, LB Prairie Dawn, Idaho Star, I Got That Fire, Matthew Kohai 3, Sarah and Surly Dev on Twitch. Also, before I play you what President Trump had to say, really quick, let me just thank a couple people in the chat for supporting the channel. Punch Gut, Seize the Day, Eris Kalar, Corinne, Nugget Doctrine, Tyler Becker, Quellen, Adopt a Pity, Andrew Vaughn, Lily A., thank you, Lily A., Berea Beard, Price Man, John Bernard, Super Steve, Katie Cat, MKL, sorry, I'm way behind on thanking people, GGA, Sriracha, Matthew Felty, De Haviland, Pineapple Water, Lewis R., 1XCD, and Strange Loop. I'll thank a few more people after. Happiest Girl, Rouch, Lucky Horse, News with Snacks. All right, I'll say a few more. I didn't get to everybody, but I'll thank a couple more people in a second. Let me play you what President Trump had to say a short while ago about when he was asked about Iran on Air Force One. Earlier today. Here it is. I'm pulling it up right now. Okay. Let me just see. Maybe they posted the video by now. Did they post the video? Sometimes after they post the audio, they'll post the video. But I am not... I got the video. I got the video of Trump. All right, hold on a second. We have the video now. This is the video of him, and you're going to hear him speak about Iran right now. This was earlier today. I just saw the video.
This is really nice. Look at this. It's going to be very rough in about 10 minutes, so we'll have to go a little bit quickly. They just said very, very rough.
Sir, on Iran, have they crossed your red line yet to trigger a response?
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent.
I'm sorry, I'm going to boost the volume here because I know it might be hard to hear. So let me boost the volume up and play the question again. Sorry about that, but let me just do that. Oopsie.
They just said very, very rough.
Sir, on Iran, have they crossed your red line yet to trigger a response?
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination.
Which options have you been briefed on? Are you meeting with senior officials?
I'm going to tell you the.
Are you meeting with your
Am I going to really? Are you asking me to say what will they do? Where will we attack? When? And at what angle will we attack from?
Are you considering?
Who are you with?
I'm with the U.S. White House TV pool. I'm wondering, are you being briefed on options? I'm with CNN, sir.
Why don't you just say I'm with CNN? She says I'm with the White House pool, and I say, what? You're with CNN. You're with fake news. Because CNN is fake news. Go ahead, give me a question.
Can I ask how you're balancing and how you're deciding your response, the balance between helping protesters versus hindering them? Because I imagine that's a delicate balance to strike.
I mean, some of the protesters were killed through the stampeding. I mean, you know, there's so many of them, and some were shot. We get a full report. I'm getting an hourly report, and we're going to make a determination.
Sir, the son of the exposed Shah, the son of the disposed Shah and some military leaders are encouraging you to take action in Iran. Is that a serious option? And
people have been shot, and we're looking at it. Yeah, please.
Are you going to go to Venezuela, or is Secretary Rubio going to go to Venezuela?
So he said, we're looking at it, and we're going to make a determination. I just want to play that first answer again. I just want to hear that one more time.
Call them leaders. I don't know if they're leaders or just it looks like, and they just said very, very rough.
Sir, on Iran, have they crossed your red line yet to trigger a response?
So the question was, has Iran crossed your red line yet?
Sir, on Iran, have they crossed your red line yet to trigger a response?
They're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent. If you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination.
So there you go. He says we're looking at it. We'll make a determination. So we don't know what the U.S. is going to do. He said we're looking at strong options. We're getting hourly reports, but that's what he said. So we'll have to see. There was some reporting about this. Let me just see if there's any new reporting about that. Hang on a moment here. Oh, Politico reported something about this today. Politico reported that. Hang on a second. Politico reported today that President Trump on Tuesday is going to be briefed on some options. And the Politico report said Trump would be briefed on some kinetic and many non-kinetic options, which might sound a little strange. Here, I have another report about this too. Reuters also said Trump briefing on Iran options planned for Tuesday. So kinetic would normally be like when you're using military weapons. When you're like firing weaponry. Bullets, bombs, and missiles would be examples. So Politico was reporting today that officials had told them Trump's going to have this meeting on Tuesday and be briefed on some kinetic and many non-kinetic options. And let's see here. Also, Politico said the options would range from military strikes in Iran, but also it could involve offensive cyber attacks. And Politico said, an official said they would want to avoid creating a massive civilian impact. And also they said the official said things targeting Iran's military forces are preferable. Also, Politico reported that the Trump administration is looking at whether Starlink terminals can be sent to Iran to help people communicate via the internet via Starlink. Although there's some reporting that says that the regime is blocking Starlink. The Reuters report I just showed you said Trump briefing on Iran options planned for Tuesday. So multiple outlets saying he's going to get briefed on options on Tuesday. Although you never know what the timing's going to be. If you told me something had happened in 10 minutes, that could be true too. I don't know that the administration is going to say when they're going to do something in advance. But the Reuters reports that the meeting on Tuesday will be a discussion about possible next steps, including military strikes, deploying cyber weapons against Iranian military and civilian sites, placing more sanctions on Iran's government, and boosting anti-government sources online, said the Wall Street Journal. So There's talk about maybe some military action, maybe not military action, or some action that's non-military. I think Axios had reported on this, and Axios was claiming that a lot of non-military. Yeah, I'm looking at the Axios report now. Axios said that Trump is considering a bunch of different options for supporting the protests and weakening the regime. The Axios said that one U.S. official told Axios that military strikes are being considered, but most of the options presented to the president at this stage are non-kinetic. So we don't know. Even if the U.S. does do some sort of response, will it be military? I have no idea. I also wanted to mention this as well, that you can see here. Trump says he will talk to Musk about restoring internet in Iran. President Trump said today he plans to speak with billionaire Elon Musk about restoring internet in Iran, where authorities have blacked out services for 4 days and amid ongoing anti-government protests. He's very good at that kind of thing. He's got a very good company, Trump said. You know, I bet I have him saying this. I have the video of Trump answering questions. Let me just go through that video for a second and see if I can find the part where he answered that question. Hang on. Hang on.
I didn't like their response. Problems in the past because they didn't have Trump as a president. You have a lot of people forced out of Cuba on fair some great companies. And,
I'm just trying to find the answer.
If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they wouldn't.
Targets if you struck our military and commercial bases, as Iran said that they would consider.
Oh, listen, hold on. Another question about Iran. Another question about Iran that President Trump answered today. Here you go. This is earlier today. Another question about Iran.
Iran said that they would consider military and commercial bases as legitimate targets if you struck. Are you concerned about?
If they do that, we'll consider things targets they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
Do you think Iran takes your threats seriously?
I think so. Don't you think so, CNN? Don't you think so? Wouldn't you say that they probably do at this point? After going through it for years with me, being hit, Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, the Iran nuclear threat wiped out, don't you think, and then you just had Venezuela, don't you think, she says, CNN, do you think they take your threat seriously? Wouldn't you say they do after all of the things we've done? What a stupid question.
Are you coordinating with allies on the response to Iran?
Mr. President, when will you meet with Maria Corina Machado this week?
I don't know. I hear Tuesday or Wednesday. I look forward to that.
Have you named your board of peace for Gaza?
I'm just going to see if I can find any other. I think he answered other questions about Iran. I know he did in that appearance today. So let me go to that. Give me one moment here. By the way, a quick thanks to Bennett Dave, SNN US, PH Survivor 92, Allie B from Tennessee, I Am Charlie, Dennis Betts, D. Hayworth, Aaron Makita, Gary Baines, Spanky, Rideshare Beware, Flat for Life, Oliver Hernandez, Julie 78, and also thank you to Robert S. Jordan. Thank you, Robert S. Jordan. I appreciate that. Jeremy West and Punch Gut, and also over there on Twitch, thank you to thanks to Bonnie Goodwin for your support. I really appreciate it, Bonnie Goodwin. Also on Twitch, Jazzy Renee, Tech Slug, Who Shot JR, Good Luck Duck, Tander, CC, Diet Ginger Ale, Big Dog Gaming. Thank you. And John Deeds. And, all right, let me see what I can find you in other questions he answered today about Iran.
But one way or the other, it was two. Well, maybe NATO would be upset. What's happened is, as you know, Sleepy Joe Biden, they did war. We make money with the war, but I don't need much, which would be number 9.25. You know,
One moment.
And Greenland basically firing, not leasing, not having insurance.
Your administration has advocated for absolute immunity for
crime statute.
President, well, just to clarify on the absolute immunity.
Our country, all they're doing is I let 25 million people.
Just finding any other mention of Iran in his remarks today.
I think, frankly, they're professional agitators. I'm going to be making a trip to Detroit. Go back to Detroit, or we can go.
Oh, here's another question about Iran. Here's another question about Iran that President Trump answered earlier today.
I know nothing about it.
Okay, and back on Iran, the Ayatollah said that he thinks that the protesters are trying to, quote, please you. Do you see it that way? What's your message to the Iranian people
I
right
don't
now?
know that they're trying to please me. They named a boulevard after me, but that's pretty pleasing. But I don't think they're trying to please. I think they just want peace. They want to have freedom. The protesters are after freedom. Iran has not allowed freedom for a long time. And the protesters, I don't think they're trying to appease me. They're trying to get somebody to help them. They're under siege. And now it looks like they're being shot, which is a very bad thing.
Mr. President, is the administration in contact with Iranian opposition leaders as this is unfolding?
Yeah.
What's the message to them?
Yeah. You're going to find out pretty soon.
You said that help is on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I didn't even catch that question. It was so hard to hear.
But I don't think they're trying to please. I think they just want peace. They want to have freedom. The protesters are after freedom. Iran has not allowed freedom for a long time. And the protesters, I don't think they're trying to appease me. They're trying to get somebody to help them. They're under siege. And now it looks like they're being shot, which is a very bad thing.
Mr. President, is the administration in contact with Iranian opposition leaders as this is unfolding?
Yeah.
What's the message to them?
Yeah. You're going to find out pretty soon.
You said that.
I think he was asked what the message is to Iranian opposition leaders, and he said, we're going to find out pretty soon. It was hard to hear. Sorry.
Here we go again, Kevin's wife, Janet. They started basically. Yeah, very, because you know, Ron wants to.
Here's another Iran question.
I'm not going to let it happen. Confuse the public. I'm not going to
Here's another Iran question from today.
let it happen.
You said something willingness from Iran to engage diplomatically with you or perhaps negotiate on their nuclear program.
With Iran?
Yeah, do you think they want to engage diplomatically with you?
They do. They called
They called you? Is it still
yesterday.
an option? Is it still an option?
Iran called to negotiate.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, the leaders of Iran called. They want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States.
Can you share any details on that call?
Iran wants to negotiate. Yes.
Negotiate what?
We may meet with them. I mean, a meeting is being set up, but we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting.
Right.
But a meeting is being set up. Iran called. They want to negotiate. Thank you very much, everybody.
What are you going to do with
Be
East?
careful. A lot of bumps.
What's your plan for East Potomac? Are you going to renovate the golf course?
Yeah, we're going to make it a beautiful.
I think that's it. Maybe I missed the answer about the Starlink, but I told you what Reuters said he said about that. Hold on. Reuters said President Trump said that He plans to speak with Elon Musk about restoring internet in Iran, where authorities have blacked out services for 4 days. He's very good at that kind of thing. He's got a good company, Trump told reporters. By the way, quick thanks to Kristen McConnell Gates on Facebook. Kristen McConnell Gates, Travis Owensby, Evelyn Kumbalik, Jarrett Najalki, Bruce Hodge, Margaret Riley. Thank you. And also thanks to SCUK from the UK, who says, I am Iranian and haven't heard from my family for over 4 days. Please be Iranian voice. He says 10 million people are living outside Iran and all are worried about their family. ECUK believes over 3,000 people have been killed by the government. I can't confirm numbers. There's been different reports about unconfirmed reports about large amounts of people killed. There's been some videos purporting to show body bags, a lot of body bags. I don't have exact numbers for you. It's very hard to know exactly what's going on, but there's a lot of evidence suggesting that in the last couple of days after shutting off the internet, the regime has started a violent crackdown. In terms of exact numbers, I just don't have confirmed numbers for you, but it's certainly possible that, I will say this about that. I saw one number quoted today. You can see here from a Reuters article, deaths from Iran protests reach more than 500, a rights group says. Unrest in Iran has killed more than 500 people, a rights group said Sunday. According to its latest figures, the U.S.-based group HRANA said it had verified the deaths of 490 protesters and 48 security personnel, with more than 10,000 people arrested during the protests. Iran has not given an official toll, and Reuters was unable to independently verify the tallies, says Reuters. The flow of information has been hampered by an internet blackout since Thursday. Hang on a second here. Is this from today? Let me just show you something. I want to show you a video that goes along with that article real quick. So thank you again to ECUK, and thoughts with you, ECUK, and everybody else who cannot be in contact with family and people they know in Iran right now. Thanks also Bill Jack and Jeremy West and Robert S. Jordan, who thinks there should be a drop of water supplies to the people. Thanks also Lily A., who said, Lily A. says, we the people of Iran want freedom in return of our King Reza Shah, the second Mr. President. Hang on one second here. I'm going to show you a video in a second. Here is the video that goes along with that article from Reuters. One moment here. Let me fix this. All right, here's the video right here.
Tehran threatened retaliation on Sunday against US military bases and its arch-foe Israel. That's if US President Donald Trump were to carry out the threat he's repeatedly made of attacking Iran to protect protesters. With leaders of the Islamic Republic facing the biggest demonstrations since 2022, Iran's police chief said security forces had stepped up efforts to confront, quote, rioters. Hundreds have died since protests began in late December, according to a rights group. They began as a response to soaring prices, before turning against the clerical rulers who've governed since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Social media videos posted on Saturday, despite an internet blackout, showed more large crowds in the capital Tehran. Authorities accused the US and Israel of fomenting the unrest. And Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bakir Kalibaf issued this warning to Trump on Sunday.
Therefore, so that you are not miscalculating, know that in case of an attack on Iran, The occupied lands, as well as U.S. military bases in the region, will be our legitimate targets. And with all these clear confessions that you made about invading Iran, we will not limit ourselves to a reaction. We will act based on signs of threats.
Trump posted on social media on Saturday, Iran is looking at freedom, perhaps like never before. The USA stands ready to help. In a phone call on Saturday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio discussed the possibility of US intervention in Iran, according to an Israeli source present for the conversation. Israel and Iran fought a 12-day war in June last year, which the United States briefly joined by attacking key nuclear installations. Though Netanyahu expressed support for the Iranian protesters on Sunday, Israel has not signalled a desire to intervene this time. Meanwhile, Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's last Shah and a prominent voice in the fragmented opposition, said Trump had observed Iranians' indescribable bravery and stood ready to help. Do not abandon the streets, he said. It's hard to gauge how much public support Pahlavi now commands in Iran, where he has not set foot for decades.
Speaking of Reza Pahlavi, he did post a new call to action today, and he said, hang on a second here. Reza Pahlavi posted, again, he is the son of the former Shah of Iran, the last leader of Iran before the Iranian Revolution in 1979. He said, "Beloved people of Iran, my courageous compatriots, over the past 2 weeks, especially in the last 4 days, you have shaken the foundations of the illegitimate Islamic Republic through massive nationwide demonstrations. Now, relying on your overwhelming response to the recent calls and with the public mandate I have received from you, I am announcing a new phase of the national uprising to overthrow the Islamic Republic and reclaim our beloved Iran." Remember, he is not in Iran, Reza Pahlavi. He says, inside Iran, in addition to taking and holding the central streets of our cities, that has not happened yet. He is calling for that to happen. In addition to taking and holding the central streets of our cities, all institutions and apparatuses responsible for the regime's propaganda and for cutting communications are to be it's a little confusing the way it's written. In addition to taking and holding the central streets of our cities, right? Which I'm not aware that that's happened yet. In addition to that, all institutions and apparatuses responsible for the regime's propaganda and for cutting communications are to be regarded as legitimate targets. Employees of state institutions, as well as members of the armed and security forces, have a choice: stand with the people and become allies of the nation, or choose complicity with the murderers of the people and bear the nation's lasting shame and condemnation. Outside Iran, all Iranian embassies and consulates belong to the Iranian people. The time has come for them to be adorned with Iran's national flag in place of the disgraceful banner of the Islamic Republic. A man, I believe, went to the Iranian embassy in London, was it a couple days ago, and climbed up there and temporarily replaced the Iranian flag with the flag of the opposition. He said, "We stand on the threshold of reclaiming our beloved Iran from the Islamic Republic. Khamenei and his regime have already suffered several heavy blows at your hands, and we must not allow them a moment to recover. The regime faces a severe shortage of forces of repression. The increase in gunfire against the people is not a sign of strength, but of fear of collapse and an accelerated downfall. We will not allow these criminals to spill any more of our young people's blood. We will not give them that chance. We will not retreat. Iran's freedom is near," he claims. "The blood shed by Iran's immortal sons and daughters guides our path toward victory. We are not alone. International support will soon arrive," he says. "Stand by for my next messages. Very soon we will reclaim our beloved Iran back from the Islamic Republic, and celebrations of freedom and victory will fill every corner of our country." That is what he is saying. He is saying that international support will soon arrive. We'll have to see what happens. Thank you, Daniel Daly, by the way. It's just unclear what is going to be the trajectory of these protests in the coming days. Our viewer Lost today says the protesters were wrong to attack the truck for the driver's free speech. Danny from Cali thinks no one in Iran wants a monarchy. He has zero power. Now, I believe that Reza Shah has said that he doesn't want a monarchy. I believe that Reza Pahlavi. I believe Reza Pahlavi has said that he wants to be a transition figure to a democracy and that he doesn't want a monarchy. So The Economist had a new article today about, which I'm just looking at right now, about the American response to the protests in Iran and what might happen. The Economist says that President Trump has a dilemma. As much as he may want to follow through on his threats, he has limited options for doing so. The unrest in Iran, says the Economist, is still leaderless and disorganized, and it has still not convinced regime bigwigs, particularly the ones with guns, to defect. America can give the opposition a boost, but it's unlikely to be a decisive one, thinks the Economist. The Economist also says it is impossible to say just how violent the regime's crackdown has been because it largely has disabled Iran's access to the internet. Also, even old-fashioned phone calls do not go in and out of Iran. The Economist also points out that this internet blackout poses big costs on Iran's economy. And they say that the internet has been blacked out for over 72 hours is a sign of how nervous the regime has become. They do say there are credible reports from Iran of hospitals overwhelmed with gunshot victims and bodies piled up in morgues, the Economist says. Let's see here. The Economist says, as time goes on, President Trump's threats will lose whatever deterrent value they may have had. President Trump is under pressure to convert his words into actions. The Economist also says the options for President Trump are limited. At one end is a symbolic strike against the regime. That could backfire because it would show that Trump isn't really serious about following through. For example, Trump might also consider a larger attack against the Revolutionary Guard Corps. But the Economist says a bombing campaign cannot stop the Revolutionary Guard Corps or other Iranian-related groups from shooting protesters in the streets. Okay, it also could alienate some Iranians who fear the sort of state collapse that has occurred in other Middle Eastern countries. The most radical option, says the Economist, would be to target senior Iranian figures of the regime, even the supreme leader. We were talking about this earlier. The Economist says Trump might even think about trying a commando raid, but they say such a mission in Iran is far more complicated than in Venezuela. He could also try bombing officials from the air, the Economist thinks that the most probable winners of that would be the Revolutionary Guard and their political allies, because in the ensuing scramble for power, a disorganized protest movement would be at a disadvantage. Let's see here. So they say that given all of those complications, potentially with military responses, the Economist says maybe Trump would go for a non-military response, a non-kinetic response. America could try sending more Starlink terminals to Iran. Also try offensive cyber attacks of some sort. But The Economist says even if the internet could be reconnected in Iran, it would not stop the regime from attacking the protesters. Nor would other options being discussed, such as tougher enforcement of economic sanctions. So they just say, the Economist article, which is very interesting, you can check it out at The Economist, The Options America Faces in Iran. The subheadline is, Donald Trump promises to rescue the protesters. How could he try? The Economist message seems to be that President Trump, it's a tough position because he said he's going to help the protesters, but the various options he has are limited. He has said he's not putting boots on the ground, by the way. So, look, I was saying this, I think, on the stream yesterday. I said, if the regime thinks that their survival is at risk, this is what I said yesterday. If the regime thinks their survival is at risk, and the U.S. fires a bunch of missiles that hit sites in Iran, I don't think that alone is going to make the regime say, okay, we give up. Protesters, you control the country now. Because people in the regime are going to think like, if we're not in power anymore, not only there's a lot of people probably with the regime who make their wealth and make their livelihood from being part of the regime, they might think we're going to go to jail, we're going to get killed, who knows? So I don't think a few missiles, I'm no expert on this stuff, but I don't think a few missiles hitting military targets when the Iranian regime has known this might happen now for weeks. I don't think a few missiles hitting military targets are going to convince the regime to give up. So the question is, what does the American assistance really look like? And does it really change the regime's calculus? And that's a difficult question. So I don't know where things are going to go here. But it's a tough situation. Okay, I want to read a few comments here. Virgie thinks it's not our problem. That's what Virgie thinks. Let's see here. BMX Kane doesn't think like a strike of missiles will stop them. U.S. Rights and Freedom says Trump has stated if regime kills more people, USA will hit them hard. He has said that. But the question is, what could he do that's going to, it would take a lot to make the regime stop attacking the protesters, because it seems like the regime feels like the protests are an existential threat to the regime. Pre-Breakfast Banana says, any indication the Iranian military would turn on the leadership. So all I can tell you, I'm not an expert on this, but again and again, I've read articles about this that say that they think, an analysis of this, that say they have not yet seen serious high-level defections from the regime. That would be a big deal if military or political or religious leaders, some of them started saying, we don't support the regime anymore. But that has not happened yet. I mentioned an article from Foreign Policy that I was talking to you about yesterday that talked about how that article said that the most important merchants in the country, the most influential and I guess wealthy and most important merchants have not, while many merchants, the protests originated with the merchant class, the bazaar merchants, I guess, and many of them have shut their stores and have joined the protests. The most influential and important ones have not gone against the regime yet. So that's another thing to keep an eye out for. But again, so far, it does not appear that there are significant defections from the regime. So again, we'll have to see what happens. Zentech says they may have some tricks up their sleeves, like pagers in Lebanon, to target key officials. Now, we did see this earlier. President Trump claimed that Iran proposed negotiations. He said that today. I don't know if that's true. If it is true, I don't know what the negotiation might be, but you never know. Thank you to Live Animal, by the way, and Nellie Gondella and Tony C. Sr. and Jazzy Renee. But multiple outlets do report that President Trump is going to meet and be presented with options on Tuesday, including some military and some non-military options for responding. The Washington Post says Trump administration national security officials are preparing to discuss options. A senior Western official told the Washington Post that hundreds have been killed in Iran in the last 48 hours. He also said the official also said, I don't know if it was a man or a woman, the official also said the spread of protests across a wide geographical area made it difficult to gather credible casualty figures. The Post reports the Trump administration is considering military options. National security officials are scheduled to brief Trump this week. The president's top diplomatic, military, and defense advisors are expected to discuss a broad array of options, including both military and non-military options. Officials tell the Washington Post the president has not settled on a preferred option. The Wall Street Journal said options under review could include deploying cyber weapons against Iranian military and civilian sites, imposing additional economic sanctions on the Iranian government, and launching military strikes. Trump declined to say today what options the U.S. is considering. A senior Western official told the Washington Post Iran's supreme leader ordered the violent crackdown after protesters who had started by voicing economic grievances began to call for regime change and demonstrations grew more violent. The official said that Iranian authorities initially appeared reluctant to use lethal force early in the protests, but once the protests threatened the regime, authorities shifted course. The official told the Washington Post, this is now unequivocally about regime change for many of the protesters, hence also the regime's escalation into violence. The regime is holding it together for now, the official said, but only with massive violence. The official also said some Iranian officials with whom he's in contact appear to be preparing for, quote, the day after, he said, but the official had not seen credible reports of increased regime defections. I also want to show you something else here. Hold on. You can see from the Washington Post, the Center for Human Rights in Iran, which works with activists inside the country to document abuses, said witnesses have reported that hospitals were overwhelmed, blood supplies are critically low, bodies are being piled up, and the number of casualties is rising by the hour. Many protesters have been shot in the eyes, the center said. Iranian security forces have in the past shot protesters in the eyes with metal pellets and rubber bullets. Witnesses also reported the use of snipers, military rifles, and surveillance drones, the center said. A massacre is unfolding, the center said. The world must act now to prevent further loss of life. It cautioned that the internet blackout made verifying the number of those killed currently impossible. The Post could not verify the center's assertions, but the center does have a record of issuing conservative estimates of deaths in previous protests. BBC Persian reported that 110 bodies had been transferred to hospitals in Tehran and in the northern city of Rasht. People were taken to hospitals with bullet wounds in the head, neck, and eyes, doctors told BBC Persian. The Iranian police chief said security forces had stepped up their confrontation with rioters, according to Iran's state broadcaster, and that the main elements behind the unrest had been rounded up and would be punished following a legal process. The police chief acknowledged deaths but implied they were caused by coordinated agitators rather than security forces. The Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said on Sunday the protests were the work of Iran's enemies who were training terrorists. He accused them of a variety of atrocities without providing evidence. Victoria Taylor, says the Post, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Iraq and Iran, said the lack of a U.S. carrier strike group in the region. Remember, a strike group went from the region, I believe, to closer to Venezuela, to the Caribbean, a month or two ago. The lack of a U.S., she thinks, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Iraq and Iran said the lack of a U.S. carrier strike group in the region would complicate any effort to strike Iranian military targets or project U.S. troops and Israeli interests against retaliation from Iran. There are still ways to strike targets, she said, but we're not as positioned as we normally would be to undertake strikes of this significance in Iran, she said. If the U.S. were to strike Iranian military targets, she said, there is no guarantee that this prevents the Revolutionary Guard or other regime leaders from assuming control. Even if you take out the supreme leader, you could still wind up with another regime figure assuming the leadership of the regime. It's another interesting point. Little information has been available since the internet blackout on Thursday evening. Some Iranians have been able to connect with the outside world briefly using Starlink devices that have been smuggled into the country over the past few years, and videos have circulated on social media in the past few days that appear to indicate a high death toll. Some show what appear to be Iranians at morgues trying to identify the body of loved ones. The Post could not immediately verify those videos. So that's an update from the Post. All right, I'll read a few more comments here. I wasn't even planning on coming on and doing an Iran stream. It's just this incident happened earlier, which you can go back and watch the coverage of, where a U-Haul truck drove through a protest, which was a protest, a rally in support of Iranian protesters. And we did a whole interview about that, we talked to a person who shot videos of it. 2 people were injured, apparently with non-serious injuries. So I'm not going to go over all that again, but you can rewind and watch the coverage. But I did want to, while we were on the air, say something about the larger situation. One of our viewers said they have like 9 aircraft carriers. I have seen reported though that there are none in the region. The Economist talked about that today too in their story. They said the Pentagon has no aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf. Its nearest one is thousands of miles away in the South China Sea. John Q. Public thinks trying to fix Iraq and Afghanistan and Libya and Syria did not work out too well either. All right, hang on a moment here. So if there's big developments, I will certainly let you know. Sorry, I was just checking to make sure I'm not missing anything in the last few minutes. Iran time, by the way, right now is 6:41 a.m. By the way, thanks to Paractorius for your support. Paractorius thinks the driver of the U-Haul truck was in the MEK group. Again, I cannot confirm that myself. We did mention that Wikipedia says of the MEK group that it is an Iranian leftist dissident organization. Its headquarters is currently in Albania. Its ideology was influenced by Islam and revolutionary Marxism. Anyways, I'm not that familiar with the group. Between 1997 and 2013, the MEK was on the list of terrorist organizations of the US, Canada, EU, UK, and Japan for various periods. It is designated a terrorist organization by Iran. Critics have described the group as exhibiting traits of a personality cult, while its backers describe the group as proponents of a free and democratic Iran that could become the next government there. Anyways, I don't want to get too off on that whole thing, but you can read more about it. Look up MEK online, for example. I don't have conclusive information about who was driving the truck. And again, 2 people were injured in that incident. Apparently not seriously. Also, as we saw from videos from our from a person, Shangul, who very nicely called in and agreed to be interviewed and let us use her videos, the truck approached the rally. Some people from the rally attacked the truck, and somebody broke the window of the truck. The truck then proceeded to drive through the rally. You can go back and watch the coverage earlier on that. Thanks to Lily A for your support, Live Animal, Nelly Gandela, Mandizzle, Mr. Davis, thank you. All right, here's what I'm going to do. So I wasn't, full disclosure, I hadn't really eaten much today, and I was about to eat food right as this happened. So I didn't eat, and I rushed on the air. The food was literally cooked, but rushed right on the air. So I need to eat something. So I'm going to start wrapping up this stream and do that. If there's some huge news tonight, we can come back on the air and do another stream. If you missed it, you can go back and rewind and watch the coverage of the U-Haul incident. I have reposted videos on my X account, which is @Lookner. And actually, if you rewind about an hour or an hour and a half, you can see we showed the videos from Shangul on the air, and a really interesting interview. Shangul, who took videos of the U-Haul incident, who was at the rally, she grew up in Iran. She was there until she was 21. She called in. It was really nice of her. She gave her perspective on what happened at the incident, and then we also got to ask her some questions. I got to ask her some questions about what she and other Iranians, people from Iran who are now outside Iran, thought about what was going on with Iran right now in the protests, and it was very, very interesting. And I can't thank her enough for calling in and sharing her perspective. So if you haven't seen that, you might want to go back and watch the interview with her, because it was really super interesting. But for now, I'm going to start wrapping up this live stream, and I really appreciate you guys being here for the stream, and for posting your comments in the chat and sending me updates. Sorry we didn't get to more comments today, just kind of the nature of the stream. Thank you. Perictorius, thank you. I will check your message after the stream. Thank you so much, Perictorius. But again, really appreciate you tuning in. If there's big developments later, I'll come on the air and cover them. And we'll keep covering the story and other big stories as they pop up. And but if you want, subscribe, follow Agenda Free TV, where we cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda here, Agenda Free TV. I would suggest turn on our notifications. I never know, like this, when a big story is going to happen, and we're going to come on the air, have to come on the air right away. So if you don't want to miss a stream, if you want to get sent a notification whenever we go live, sign up for our free notifications. We do it through Discord. They're really reliable. The mods will post a link to the notifications in the chat. And also, you can find a link to the notifications on YouTube and Facebook in the description of this video. And, sorry, I don't think I hydrated enough during the stream. I will post updates on my X account, at Lookner on X. You can see I post breaking news updates there. I have posted Shangul's videos there, and also another video I found of the incident. You can go there and check it out. That's at Lookner on X. And really, thanks for people saying they liked the interview. I'm glad we were able to bring you that interview today. So thanks for saying that. Also, huge thanks to our moderators. You were incredible. I'm sorry I didn't get to thank the moderators more today. Sorry about that. But they're the reason that we can have chat rooms. We could not have them without our moderators. So huge thanks. People like Ruth over there on YouTube and all of our other YouTube moderators. Big thank you. On Twitch, Idaho Star, I Got That Fire, Matthew Kohai 3, Sarah, and Surly Dev. On Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha over on X. On Facebook, Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley, Christina Neal and Paul Anderson and all of our other moderators over there as well. Thank you for all of our moderators. And also thanks to Michael Clayton and Kristen McConnell Gates and Daniel Napa for the Facebook stars, who I didn't thank earlier. Thank you to everybody who donated during the stream. That's really nice of you. That's what allows the channel to exist. Really, really kind of you. I really appreciate your support. I hope I got everybody. It took a little while. I was a little delayed on the thank yous, but I think I caught up, hopefully, to everybody. I'm sorry if I missed somebody, but I tried to get everybody. And let's see. On Twitch, Jazzy. Yeah, I think I'm caught up on Twitch. Jazzy, Renee, and TechSlug, and everybody else. So again, thanks for your support. Thanks also to Quellen. Oh, I thanked Quellen before, but thanks again. And if you want to support, if you want to donate the channel, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. But again, thanks so much for supporting. And oops, what happened to the camera? The camera, we lost the camera for a second. We're back. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and letting it exist. Also, let's see here. Another good way to find out when we're live is follow us on X at Agenda Free TV. If you're on X, I always post there before we go live. I post updates about the channel there at Agenda Free TV. And let's see here. We do have a chat where you can chat with other viewers when we're not live. The Agenda Free Discord chat, Agenda Free TV Discord chat. Check it out. It's free. A bunch of our viewers like doing that. It's the same link as the free notifications link. That's the link to the chat as well. So check out our Discord chat. Big thanks to our Discord moderators for all your help on Discord. And if you're on YouTube and you're watching this, I would suggest turn on the YouTube notifications so you know when we're going live over on YouTube. Well, you can find out other ways, but that's a help to have the notifications on. To turn the notifications on YouTube, you got to subscribe to the channel, then click the bell and choose all notifications. If you're already subscribed, make sure you have the bell checked, the bell clicked, and you've chosen all notifications. I want to shout out also our Twitch subscribers for supporting the channel, like D. George and Matthew Kohai 3, Mr. Bigley Uncredible, Wall Street and Shaggy, Manchester is Red Forever, Chi-Town Bear, Gina Pina, CC, Devil Doc, and No Goal, Secret Formula, and all of our other Twitch subscribers. Thank you so much. Sandy Doggo. Thanks for Tander. Thank you. Diet Ginger Ale. Thanks. Also, all of our Facebook subscribers, really appreciate it, like Diane Allworth, Sharon Klassen Goslin. Kay, thanks Kay for the Facebook stars. Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley, Chuck Mosca, Robert Real II, Michael Clayton. Thank you, Michael. Kristen McConnell Gates, Lou Rainsford, Louisa Knight, Helen Anderson. All of our other Facebook subscribers as well. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. And our YouTube members. Thanks to all of our members on YouTube. Sorry I didn't get to you earlier. Like Soka Deb Sevenfold, Jessica Dubois, Eric Johnson, CAC813, Evelyn in Maine, My BFF Shotgun, Igor Tumbas, Dwayne Big Dude, Don Video Guy, and Paula Faust, Patricia Grace, Bad Panda, Gary Baines, thanks for being members, and all of our other members too. Did I say Roger Shoemaker, Mama 457 Rose, CAC? Thank you. And everybody else for watching and tuning in. Gromp, for example, and Audrey Burbank, Billy Anderson. And I will keep an eye on things. If there's big news, we'll do more coverage. Okay. Covalence, thanks for watching over there on Twitch. C. Smith. All right. So we're wrapping this up the stream. Thanks, Extraman as well on Twitch. I'm a Peaky Blinder. Just a Chill Guy. Devil Doc and everybody else. Select your name here. Penulta. Thanks, Zella Coyote, for being a member over there on YouTube as well. All right, so you have been watching our live coverage. If you missed it, go back. You can rewind and watch it. We covered the U-Haul driving through the rally in a pro-Iranian protester rally. A U-Haul drove through, but fortunately, no one seriously injured. It doesn't appear like, although 2 people were injured. And as we explained before, that U-Haul had signs on it that a number of people at the rally thought were antagonistic. But I'm not going to get into all that now. I got to wrap this up, but you can go back and watch, and we talk about it all in the stream. And we have an interview in the stream with somebody who was there, who shot video of what was there, somebody from Iran, which was really, really great to be able to talk to her, Shangul. So you can check that out as well. And we talked about the situation in general going on with Iran. So that is it for now. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.